for the final group of this qualifier. Group D coming underway. We already have 7 of our 8 playoff teams decided. Ago, Man's Not Hot, and a Vanguard made it through their groups to join the invited Big, Hellraisers, Mousesports, and Na'Vi. And there's only one spot left up for grabs. It's either going to be Sprout or one of these 2 teams. And what are your thoughts on this group overall, Dean? Because it seems like quite a competitive group so far, this Group D.
Oh yeah, certainly. I think Epsilon, maybe they weren't coming into this, they weren't one of the favourites, but I think from the performances they've shown, I would probably be favouring them, maybe even over Sprout, but I think taking down Qualifier is going to be difficult. Qualifier, I'd say they are, after their results at the Major, the #1 team in this group in terms of having that experience, having the results really to show for the performances, and yeah, I'd say it is going to be a tough one for Epsilon. I don't really know how to predict this because we haven't really seen enough of them. Cobblestone, it is a map that they've actually performed extremely well on. I believe even taking down Mousesports in the IEM Qualifier, the IEM Katowice Qualifier, of course this is also one, but the direct one's the European one. I believe they took down 16 to 14 if I'm not mistaken, so it's a map they've had some solid performances on, so I think it should be a close one, but overall I'd probably edge the series to Qualifier.
Yeah, certainly still some questions about this Epsilon lineup with them being so new. For example, the second map today, Train, they haven't played any official games on up until this point, so that will be fun to watch out for to see how much Epsilon have prepared for Train, because I assume they haven't practiced it that often. They often seem to go away from that map. But here we go. We're heading underway into Cobblestone, and I think Epsilon, it's almost a must-win for them this first map, and Surreal peeking out through a long, spots out Boomich and tags him a little bit. Boomich, the only player with any utility for this initial pistol round, with Epsilon going full on for the Kevlar. And they certainly have quite a few skilled players, so clearly they just want to rely on that aim. Qualifier, in the meantime, they gain control over towards Danger, but they don't want to go for the full-on push just yet. Taking things slowly, and with Boomich having the nades, they can wait, of course, for him to throw them out and then go for the push.
Yeah, certainly. Smooya, he is in a good position right now to actually be able to spot mid and get a bit of info early if we see anyone come back in this direction. But the main problem is right now there's the fact that there's no defuse kit for the CT side. If they don't get at least 2 or 3 initial kills on this push, it will be a very difficult retake, and it's not going to be so easy. That smoke, as you mentioned, is available along with a couple of flashes, and right now, just a bit of a stalemate. Qualifier yet to really move. They're waiting to see if they can catch any of this aggression, but as we can see, Epsilon, they're happy enough of just hanging back and waiting to try and take those long-range fights with his USPs. But finally, Qualifier, they look to try and get a move on. Nicely placed smoke with a flash also coming in alongside it. Is going to be able to force Smooya back off. He repositions himself towards the balcony, tapping away a bit of an awkward fight for both Surreal and Smooya, as no kills are yet to come in, just some damage, and eventually Surreal steps it up. He finds that first headshot. He is going to need some support from Smooya on the balcony to cover off his below sight push, but Robin is the first one to fall actually, and Feline, nice find onto Surreal. That is going to be the 1-man advantage. Make that the 2-man advantage now in favour of the terrorist side, and it's all onto Smooya to try and clutch this one out. He is going to be able to at least find one. Feline being extremely low as well gives him a bit of a chance, but with the bomb now getting planted, he doesn't have the most time in the world to work with. He still have quite a bit though. He has made his way out towards the van. They're definitely aware of this. You can see Feline how cautious he's been, and he may even be able to find the back of his opponent, as I believe the shadow has been spotted, and he will be able to win that one out. Gets the pistol round now in favour of Qualifier. As I mentioned, that was just going to be a very scrappy round there just towards that A-bomb site.
Yeah, a couple of players struggling a little bit with their aim, but that's as you would expect for the first round. They've still got time to warm things up. However, in terms of Epsilon's hold on the A site there, I mean, you saw just the one smoke in towards door forced Smooya back. He did get to reposition in towards Heaven, but I think Qualifier were quite ready for that one. You saw them already sort of pre-aiming that position. And Smooya, sure, he didn't go down, but he couldn't really assist Surreal that well towards the site. It was mainly the rotating players that went down first. So either way, Qualifier do take the pistol, and they do invest into a couple of AKs for this second round. We are going to see Epsilon with 2 players committed to A, and T-Sac. There's a little bit of damage there. Quick taken down to half HP. In the meantime, Boomich will push forwards. I don't know how that smoke landed up there, but there we go. Doesn't quite do what it was planned to. Either way, nothing really happening early on, except for the fact that Epsilon have fallen back. Robin was thinking about the rotate, but not going to come through just yet. So again, Qualifier just taking things slowly. Generally quite an aggressive team, but T-Sac gets a first kill. Push is still going to come through by the looks of things, but Qualifier not fully committing just yet, and the rotate has come over now.
Oh, Robin, look at this position. He's going to actually be able to catch off Waterfalls, who snuck his way in towards the connector. Actually, this is a pretty decent position for Epsilon. They will lose one player as Smooya tries to back off and get out of that hut. He gets taken down by Jumpka. Still a pretty decent position right now for Epsilon, as the three terrorists are kind of just in a bit of a stagnated position right now. Jumpka eventually tries to move forward. He gets taken down by Robin. I know Quick and Valina are going to be left to try and clutch this one out. Valina, last man standing, gets at least one. But that's a really nice round there by Epsilon, able to claim it with just the pistols. And to be firing out, they are going to be facing off against a double eco. So force buy, I'd say it's looking quite likely.
Yeah, Qualifier there looked somewhat disjointed with their push. After the first player went down, it seemed like they weren't sure whether or not they wanted to try and hit the A site. A couple of players pushed very quickly, and then the rest of the team eventually followed suit, but just not really quickly enough to get the trades. So now Epsilon look good to be able to gain the early lead, but Jimka had the chance for the kill there, but Surreal manages to jump back to safety. Ooh, that nade does so much damage to Jimka, and he will be taken down. In the meantime, the rest of his team decided to go down drop instead, and that has worked for Valina to get the one kill. It's only a UMP recovered, and another nade does a little bit of damage. Not quite as much as the previous one this time around. It's just back to a 4v4 early on. Just as I say that, though, Smooya goes aggressive. That was a risk he took there with that rifle, but it pays off for the man advantage. But take a look at the minimap. Boomich. He's going to push forwards, but Sak is aware. He gets that kill. That should effectively give Epsilon a good chance to close this out cleanly.
Yeah, should be. Neither of these remaining terrorists are looking so healthy, and Smooya into the spray, not going to really be connecting enough damage there, brings them down to 4 HP. It should be enough for the round to go in their favour, but maybe could get a little bit more done. Valina hoping maybe for one more kill at best, but maybe he'll be distracted. There's Surreal. He pounces on that opportunity. Going to go in and get himself that kill and even upgrade slightly towards an MP7. I guess if that's if you consider that an upgrade, I guess. But I think he may have actually upgraded once again towards a UMP instead. So that definitely is a slightly better weapon. But coming into this one now, Epsilon should have a bit of an easier time. It is just going to be the full eco, able to even live through the previous round with 4 players alive. As Qualifier, just 5 Glocks to work with, very little firepower, and just 1 flash. I'd expect a bit of a faster round, but it seems like they will be just splitting up for a bit of a default at the moment.
Ooh, a little bit of damage done to Smooya. Having said that, Volina's down to 8 HP, so not the best of starts. A couple of nades go off, but they're not really going to connect. The push comes down drop. Robin only gets the 1 kill. In the meantime, great flash from Smooya gets him a free frag. It's a man advantage now for Epsilon. It looks like the bomb is going to push towards A, and there are a couple of players in connector that will try to make this work. They still need 2 kills to really claim the site, though.
Yeah, certainly. And with Surreal being able to shut down Valina over towards B, that should be it. Jack actually, it gets a little bit closer on towards the site, definitely cutting it a bit closer than he would have expected. But he wins out the fight, gets himself control of the bomb, and Jumpka going to be the last man standing. And once again, Smooya just pushing aggressively forward with that M4 is going to be able to shut that one down. So Epsilon claiming themselves a 3-1 lead. Qualifier after losing the pistol. They have to go for the force buy and an eco. That meant that they'll only be able to get the rifles out now. And when they do, it's not really going to be perfect. They lack the up. Not going to have that into the hands of, I believe, Waterfalls. So let's see what they're going to be able to get done with just the 5 AKs. Seems like they may just split up for a bit of a default once again, with a lot of presence really being put over towards A. At least 3 players in this position, and Smooya, look at this, he's going to be trying to find an opening, and it actually is going to work out in his favour. He takes down Waterfalls and retreats back now into a much safer position to ensure that no trades will be able to come in for Qualifier.
Smooya generally seems to be a very aggressive player, so when he goes for the AWP, he wants to get the opening pick again. But I think Smooya's aggression sometimes can be sort of countered by teams if they know he's going to go aggressive that often. And I think that's something Qualifier might be able to pick up on more as the series goes on. Nonetheless, this time around, Smooya does get the opening kill, so it works out for him. A little bit of team damage out towards A-Long. Nothing considerable, though, but in the meantime, this is considerable. Surreal has pushed all the way out through B-Plat. For the time being, there is no presence there from the Qualifier side, but I don't think Surreal will push any further. Either way, in the meantime, Qualifier have gone down drop, so this becomes interesting now. Surreal does catch the bomb out. That's Quick dropped out of the round, and that could be a crucial kill. With the 2-man advantage, Epsilon look good, and Surreal extends it further. Double kill for him now.
Yeah, good work so far in this game by Surreal. We mentioned he was kind of in that 3rd star role for the Epsilon side, and He's definitely been stepping it up so far. We'll even go ahead and close that one out by taking down Valina. So a great round overall by Epsilon. They've been able to close out these past few rounds quite cleanly, and you can see because of that their economy, it is beginning to bolster itself up. You can see the average roughly right now is about 5,000 or 6,000, and the lowest is 3,750 onto Robin. So they're backing themselves up for a while to ensure that they will be able to keep buying. And up against Nico once again, or rather half buy this time by Qualifier thanks to the money bonus. They should have a good chance at being able to capitalize once again and get themselves that 5th round. But Qualifier looking up towards B. This could get dangerous. Cosmin, he goes aggressive and actually will go ahead and sacrifice his life. Doesn't really find too much other than a bit of damage onto Quick and Boomich, as the weapon, at least for now, will be held back by a nicely placed Molotov. Jump through with that Deagle, even connecting more damage, and Surreal may be in trouble in this position, but he's actually going to be able to find at least one. Valina spins around, trades that one out, and now Robin from the pizza position going to try and find something. He has the support of Chak also, and it's actually going to be all going back in favour of Epsilon, as Robin's just handed another kill for free. Jumpkit trying to retrieve the weapon, and Smooya with the P250 one tap. And Epsilon, they do end up shutting that one down. It was looking a little bit, looking like it could be a sticky situation after those couple of trades came in, but it did all go back in favour of the European mix side in the end.
Yeah, but now Qualifier get the full buy. Waterfalls has the AWP. And again, I don't want to point this out, that yesterday, or maybe the day before it was, I can't remember, but he had one map that was really awful, where he only got a couple of kills in the entire map. This time he's already down there with 0 kills alongside Boomich, and I think those are the 2-star players for Qualifier, and it's not worked again! Epsilon just taking the fights early on. Cosmin on the boost up also gets a frag. And that is not the start Qualifier were looking for in such a key gun round. They're just getting picked apart one by one. Boomich and Paulina now the only 2 players left. And, well, this is starting to look very dominant from Epsilon.
Yeah, they're just so confident right now. You can see with the amount of aggressive pushes they're going for that they're confident in their ability to win these aim duels and be the better team, and it's going well so far. Maybe a bit of an overextension there by Cosmin as he pushes into the drop room, and it wasn't really needed, I'd say. That gives a small opening to Qualifier to try and get something done, but Smooya with the op in a good position, finds that kill there onto Boomich, uses the tracers to ensure that he's able to find that through the smoke, and now it's just going to be Valina that remains in a similar position, looking like he will be trying to make his way out this window, and once again may walk directly into the crosshair of Smooya. I mean, maybe could work out in his favour. We see Smooya has kind of refocused, and he's still actually yet to make his move from the drop room. He's not really in too much of a rush, I guess. He has about 40 seconds remaining, hoping that a mistake will be made. And you can see Smooya actually inching forward, maybe given an opportunity for this A-bomb site to be opened up. He doesn't connect the shot, but he does now have support as well, and he won't need it at all. He hits on the second chance, and Epsilon are able to close that one out.
Yeah, Smooya keeps his confidence up, and Qualifier, I don't think will go for the full investment here, or at least I wouldn't decide to do so. And they also agree with me, they're only going to go for pistols. So in this round, while we have a little bit of a lull in the game, I'm going to take this time to let you know about our giveaway here on eFrag. We've got a Flip Knife Blue Steel field tested up for grabs. In order to enter, you just have to subscribe to the Twitch channel. And that will be given away on Sunday after the grand finals of this tournament. So make sure to get in there, because I don't think we've seen too many people get into that so far. So if you want a chance for that knife, make sure to subscribe to this Twitch channel. But either way, Qualifier taking a little bit of damage early on, and T-Sac already going to get that opening kill.
Yeah, not a great start for Qualifier. Very limited in terms of what they have to work with, and they're beginning to become more limited as their players fall like dominoes. And Smooya, he doesn't look to try and stop this one either. He's going to push forward, and the only thing he's stopping really is the push from the T side, as Chak is also going to chime in with one. Smooya, he's starting this game off strong. That's something you want to see for the Epsilon side. Smooya, of course, currently 11-2 actually, is that player that you really need to step it up on that side. He's the star, he's the up-and-coming talent that people are looking towards, and also along with Cosmin, who at the moment hasn't really needed to do so. 7-1, and Cosmin is currently bottom of the scoreboard for Epsilon, so that doesn't bode so well for Qualifier. But then again, now they get the rifles out, they are going to be looking to try and get themselves back into this one, and Waterfalls is going to be on the op also. So right now it is going to be a lot of presence over towards the B side of the map. It looks like this will be the focus early on for the D side to try and find the openings, but Smooya, once again, that confidence is shown. Waterfalls, it will be smoked off. He may have a chance at trading out, but Smooya pushing forward. What is this? The flash doesn't work in his favour though. It was actually a team flash, and Smooya gets taken out due to that, and Valina going to be able to trade it over the smoke onto Surreal. And this round now, it's just kind of falling apart for Epsilon. Qualifier get their best chance to try and gain a round in quite a while.
Smooya just has no respect, does he? That almost reminds me of when Stewie first joined Cloud9, and he would literally do plays like that all the time. I mean, Smooya, Stewie, they both start with an S. Is Smooya the new smoke criminal? We'll find out throughout this game, but it doesn't work this time. Waterfalls finds his first kill, and that orb in his hands might be enough to make the difference. 3v4 now that Epsilon have to overcome. T-Sac is currently holding off towards A. He was playing in the midst of the smoke, but now he will fall back. You can see Epsilon quite spread out across the map here. It seems like the rotate is coming in. Cosmin will try to get into position, but T-Sac, oh, he drops the bomb. That could be critical. Kvik is coming in from behind, but he doesn't get the kill. And T-Sac can afford to play safe, but Cosmin blinded up, as is Kvik. He eventually gets the spray down. 25 seconds left now, and they need to get the bomb, but still no moves being made. Robin, I thought he was going to spot out Paulina, but he is caught in the back. T-Sac now has it all to do. 15 seconds left. He gets spotted out. There we go. Qualifier finally get another round.
Yeah, finally Qualifier able to get another round. It was actually looking so good for Epsilon. To me, I liked the original aggression, but I think he may have slightly... Maybe he got a little bit zealous there, wanted to get a bit more, tried to push forward at the smoke, and it was a good idea, but the team flash just didn't really give him any sort of assistance in getting that second kill. And after that, it just went all back in favor of Qualifier, rather, as now into this one. Epsilon, they built up a great bank, of course, they can continue to buy for this round at least, and may even be able to afford one in the upcoming. As Cosmin, he's actually able to take down Jump Fit early on through that smoke, and nicely placed nade, done the initial damage, and Cosmin was able to close that one out with a spray wildly through it. As now, Epsilon with a one-man advantage. Qualifier can't really afford a reset to come in this round right now.
Well, finally, it's someone else from Epsilon to get the first kill. Smooya had been opening things up very often, but it's Cosmin this time around. And speaking of Smooya, he's gone aggressive towards A again. Qualifier, however, are grouped up around B, so they're going to go for the push elsewhere. And with Smooya having peeked out aggressively, he feels confident enough to think about the rotate back, but Waterfalls gets that shot up close despite taking the dink. Surreal is out in the open, but this off angle works wonderfully. He gets himself 3 kills. Great play from Surreal, and again, he's been a sort of quiet, consistent performer for Epsilon, stepping up when needed. And now he's up there with Smooya, the two UK boys leading the way for Epsilon and resetting Qualifier's economy.
Yeah, just a great play there by Epsilon, able to take themselves around and reset. As I said, Qualifier, if they got reset in that round, they'd be in a terrible position. And you can see now because of that, they will have to buy into this one. And the best really that they're able to get out of that is just one AK and a UMP with some pistols to back that up alongside a bit of utility. And right now, Epsilon, if they take this one, they will force the eco. Likely going to be able to reach their way towards double digits already on this first half. And could get even worse for Qualifier. They just need to try and get themselves back into this game now. This is the one we said Epsilon needed, though, this map, as a reminder, as they haven't really played Thrain before. So right now in this round, Qualifier will be trying to move down in towards the drop room. Looks like an A split is going to be on the table. But Surreal, once again, he steps up and just shuts this down. We mentioned he's the third star really on this lineup, but he has those games where he can just take it completely over, and he's doing so right now. But then again, it's going to come back in favor of Qualifier. Apologies, I keep making that mistake. But it's a good find now as they get themselves control of this A bomb site, and they should be able to get the bomb plant with ease.
And down goes the bomb in the 3v3, and Boomich spots the flank. Surreal dropped out of the round, and Robin and Cosmin in the 2v3 retake. I'd have thought they might have wanted to go for this one, but they feel like they've lost too much over towards A, so they're just going to concede this round. A round that Qualifier, I don't think, would have expected to win a lot of the time, but there we go. They get it done with that force, and this was really a must-win round for Qualifier at this point. They didn't have any money in the bank, and this was, I mean, not a great force for them, but they got it to work. That's the main thing. So they can now put in some work, try and get some rounds together. Looks like they should get to save the 3 guns, and Qualifier certainly need to focus on their economy at this point, not damaging Epsilon's, because Epsilon have a lot of cash. So there we go, the guns are saved, and maybe Qualifier can work their way back into this half now.
Yeah, there's certainly a good chance if they take this round, then I think Epsilon will only be able to afford to buy up one more time. That'll allow Qualifier likely to get up towards 5 rounds, so, or maybe even 6. So the next couple of rounds for them are going to be important for Qualifier. Still in the situation where right now, if they were to lose this one, they'll be instantly reset once again, and they just need to start chaining some rounds together. They need to get a bit of more consistent performance on this T side, as of course, if the CTs are able to keep control of that economy, just keep resetting it for the terrorist side, it's just not a good position. Right now though, Qualifier, looks like they will slow this one down. They're just going to be putting a lot of presence outside of A, and I guess this is maybe to try and counteract this aggression we've seen so far. especially from Smooya with this off. This time he's changed it up. He's aware perhaps he may be getting a little bit too readable. He will instead decide to stick around on towards long. The smoke goes down to maybe try and bait him out into the open, and he gets the timing correct. Takes down quick, and he's easily able to fall back off as the smoke is placed perfectly.
Yeah, and it just seems like whenever Smooya's taking early fights, he's winning them consistently. It's never really been Qualifier being able to win these sort of opening engagements. Maybe it'll be worth Qualifier just grouping up at the start of a round, because quite often they're spreading out, they are just getting picked off, and it just doesn't seem to be working for them so far. Epsilon now, again with the man advantage, can afford to just hold a default setup. This is exactly what they've done so far. They've waited to get the first pick and then gone back passively, and it's worked so well for them. With 35 seconds left, Qualifier will now be forced to make a play, and it looks like the bomb is going to go over towards B.
Yeah, Cosmin is in just such a solid position here. He should be able to find at least one or so in Surreal. He's been stepping it up massively. He looks to try and continue doing so, and he is going to be able to shut down two. The bomb also being dropped now below that broken wall means it's going to be a 2-on-4 with Cosmin in such an amazing position. Robin on the bomb site now. There we go, Cosmin. He finally goes ahead and decides to capitalize on that kill, and Robin closes it out onto Boomich. So it is going to be Epsilon once again resetting the economy of Qualifier, and I think we may be seeing another force fight. Quick at least is going to be on a double eco. The rest of the players, if they wanted, they could eco this one and afford some form of a buy into the following.
Yeah, and honestly, Qualifier, I think a lot of the reason why they were dangerous was partly because of their aggression, but also partly because they had a fair few players that were very, very capable, that could compete with the best of them, and that's just not coming through here so far. They've just been fairly easily shut down by Epsilon. And into this 13th round, this is again kind of a must-win position. If they lose this round, they're already 10-3 behind and wouldn't have any money for the end of the half. So here we go, Qualifier again, just working their way over towards A. This time around, Smooya has gone much more passively with the AWP. Seems like maybe he knows that it's a weaker buy on the Qualifier side of things, but they do still have a few nades which could counteract Smooya's AWP in the round if they are well placed. And again, it's just this same default for Epsilon.
Yeah, so far Qualifier, not really much they've been doing has worked out. I'd say those faster rounds have maybe had a bit more success, but even then that was quite inconsistent. And there we go, Jumper going to get spotted out over on B long. Right now the bomb is just going to be back in the B halls as they are able to get themselves some control towards the drop room, meaning that this should be retrieved quite soon, and we are going to be looking towards an A split it seems. But nice flash goes through. They're going to be Jack in position to take himself down at least one, but he will end up falling, as it's going to be Boomich to return it, and now it's just going to be up to Smooya on the bomb site with this op, and look how aggressive he's getting. He's going to get caught off guard. Waterfalls even gets himself an off now to work with, as this eco is going quite well so far for Qualifier, and especially with Felina being able to find Cosmin in towards Connector. To kill Cosmin should probably be finding 9 out of 10 times, and it just wasn't his time, I guess. Robin at least trades it, but still a 2-on-3 retake now going to be looking to come in by Robin and Surreal, and I don't know how likely that is.
Yeah, we saw them save from a 2v3 retake previously. This time around, though, Epsilon probably already have enough money to buy for the rest of the half. So I wouldn't mind them going for this one, but at the same time, I could also understand the save. I think either option is okay, but considering we're heading into the 14th round and they have a fair amount of cash in the bank, I'd have preferred them to go for it. However, Epsilon decide to just hold onto what they can. So, again, Qualifier, I think they're going to lose the round. I mean, I don't know where Robin's going. He was trying to get the defuse. Very, very ambitious and not going to work out this time. I guess he can't just afford to throw away that gun because, as I was saying, Epsilon should have enough cash still for the rest of the half. So not a massive issue. Just goes for the crazy play. Doesn't work out. And Qualifier, they're just about hanging on, but it's certainly still not been convincing from them.
If they can get themselves up to 6, I think they'll actually be fairly happy with the half that they're able to get. Of course, as mentioned before, it's not really a map that's too biased towards either side. Some people maybe would consider slightly biased towards the T side, but by no means does that mean they aren't able to get that solid lockdown on the CT side like what we've seen from Epsilon early on this half. Right now, Qualifier getting themselves into a pretty decent position if they can chain a couple more rounds and end this one out 9-6. But there we go, Surreal somehow finds that kill on the Jumpka, who comes out through the smoke. Smooya in a pretty strange position with the AWP. I think they may have spotted him out, and he could be now stuck in towards this position. He does end up falling, but still Epsilon going to be finding most of the kills, and Robin just spamming through the smoke. They line up for him. They keep going into that exact position, and he takes them with ease. And Surreal has been just playing like an absolute monster so far this game. I think Surreal actually has been just shown such a great performance since coming back to Europe. I don't really think he showed any of this over in complexity, and I guess that may have just been about the roles, etc. But I think he may even actually be becoming the second star of this team. Cosmian has been, in my opinion, a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, and in complexity, it did kind of feel like Surreal never really found his spot. I think that's fair to say. I remember he for a period of time, he was like AWPing quite a lot for the team. He never really seemed too confident being that sort of main AWPer. Then he was switched up a lot of the time. It just felt like maybe they didn't play around him enough. Either way, Sack's going to hold towards mid, spots a couple of players, could be in trouble, but he gets the double spray down. I was going to say the AK was looking for the trade, but Sack manages to take both frags early on. The smoke also deployed, a rotate has come through. I will say, the one thing about Epsilon is that I do feel like they can be a streaky team, especially when you have some aggressive players. If Smooya makes some mistakes on the T side, there could still be a chance for Qualifier to come back into it. But if they're only going to get 4 rounds on the board, it will be a long comeback. And that looks likely as they are in a 3-on-5. And, well, Robin gets flashed in. He's going to spray them both down. A little bit sloppy on the second, but it will be the 11th.
Yeah, just a good performance by Epsilon. As I said, Qualifier, I think they wanted to get up to 6 there at least to be happy with that half. And I don't think 4 definitely could be enough, especially if they take this pistol, but it doesn't really give them a lot of room to work with. If we're going to see Epsilon being able to claim this pistol, which so far they've been pretty good at. Of course, they didn't take the previous one, which is even another point there to point out. Qualifier only been able to take 3 gun rounds. Even with winning the pistol, they only ended up at 4 at the end of the half. So I just think Qualifier, if they lose this pistol, it's probably going to be too much for them to handle.
Yeah, here we go into the second half. And we'll get to see the buys. Remember, Epsilon on their CT side went for 5 sets of Kevlar, no defuse kit. However, this time around they decide they want some utility. And again, the P250 dropped over towards Smooya. We've seen this a couple of times from Epsilon. They feel confident in his ability to make the plays. And Epsilon, they are not going to let up here. They're going straight towards this A site. Rush A, no stop is the call, and Paulina's going to try and spot them out. Gets 1 kill at the very least. In the meantime, the fight towards A long is awkward. Still no kills coming through. Finally, Zack finishes him off. Waterfalls is going to get a kill back though, so it's still a 3v3 as the bomb goes down.
Yeah, nice shot there by Waterfall's going to be able to at least return that one, but Robin, nice find, able to trade that one out successfully, and Quick is extremely low, so Boomich is going to be the man that has to try and get the heavy lifting done in the remainder of this round. And he does start that off strong, at least by finding the opening headshot. Still Cosmian on long, and he's going to be able to connect another. It's going to be all up to Robin now. No Kevlar to work with. Aim punch will be a factor, and he's been pushed down by 2 CTs at the moment. The time it's beginning to tick away. Currently no defuse kit in their possession. Robin finds one, but he will be traded out. Boomich, he's going to be able to have this defuse, I believe, with at least a couple of seconds to spare. So nice retake there by the Qualifier guys.
Yeah, Boomich, plenty of time. Had about 5 seconds to spare there. I've got the music on, I know. And there we go. Qualifier keep themselves in with a shot. Epsilon, though, I mean, they still took that round very close. And with the bomb plant, they can pile on the pressure in the next round. Because this one, they will just go for the eco to ensure they have the buy into the 18th round. So just 5 P250s, 1 flashbang. And by the looks of things, the team are going to stick together. Cosmian will group up with them. And again, they're going to try and see if they can get the A play to work. Jimka and Boomich here holding towards the A site. So Boomich has one of the rifles, but the M4A1S isn't the best against a pistol rush towards you. So that could be a slight issue if he misses some shots.
Yeah, certainly. He's going to be able to spot them out early on, though. Robin, he receives a small bit of damage, and some info is now being given to the CT side to allow for them to get a proper setup now to try and hold this one down. Jump kit spots out another player there towards middle and even gets a small amount of damage onto Surreal, but it looks like the T's are just going to try and group up and overwhelm this player now, and a nicely placed Molotov is going to actually force Surreal out into the open, and it's all the kills going in favour of Qualifier. Only going to be Chak now that remains, and he's not going to be able to find anything either, as it's a very good round there by Qualifier, winning so extremely cleanly, and that's what they want now. They want to build up their economy because they have this long road ahead to actually try and get the comeback. But Epsilon, this is when they get the buyout. They definitely won't be able to afford an op, rather. They are just going to be working with the 5 rifles and very limited utility. So Qualifier coming into this one probably going to be favoured to take this, unless Epsilon are able to hit some nice shots.
It's Jimka with the AWP, surprisingly enough, not going into the hand of Waterfalls, and Jimka is going to get it done early. That peek out towards mid will pick off Robin. And I was kind of expecting Epsilon, with the lack of utility, to maybe just stick together to start the round and potentially even go for a fast push. But they decided to spread out, and that cost them. The AWP manages to find a long-range fight. In the meantime, I don't think Surreal has spotted Waterfalls crossing on the aggression towards B plat, but now he falls back, so it's not an issue. And Epsilon, after losing the first player, will now group up for the push.
Yeah, they are just going to go ahead and try and actually be able to outnumber the opponents on the bomb site. They will be making their 4 players all head in the direction of the B bomb site. We're currently 3-2 away, with some nice info rather being found there, along with some great damage from that grenade. So Epsilon not really looking so good so far into this round. They haven't been able to find anything. All they found was a HE directly into all 4 of their players. You can see because of that they have all been tagged up. Smooya ensuring that there's no flanks coming in, and it looks like they could even try and split towards this A bomb site right now. Drop control is going to be coming down. Smooya making his way back towards middle, and Boomich for now happy enough with just giving up this position, and actually there seems to be a bit of a fake to try and get the rotators a little bit further away from that connector position. Smooya now, he's going to need to try and get this opening kill and do so fast before the rotates come in to allow this bomb to try and actually get on towards the bomb site. And you can see Qualifier, they're definitely aware now. 4 players are all going to be trying to get into position. 2 of those already been on the bomb site, and 18 seconds now remaining, cutting it a bit closer for the Epsilon side. Is Chak eventually going to chime in with 1, but still mostly in favour of the CT side, and Quick from above going to be able to take down 1 and a second with the FAMAS. And now there's no time anymore as Chak is going to get taken down by Jumka.
Yeah, unfortunately for Epsilon there, they did just take a little bit too much time, it felt like, on going for that A push. Maybe if they'd have pushed 5 seconds sooner, they would have been able to get into position, especially because Jimka was holding back on towards the site with the AWP. He could have easily been overwhelmed, considering Smooya was already pushed up through A long. However, it wasn't meant to be. The rotate comes in, and a heavy rotate from Qualifier, which was to be expected at that point, to be honest. They spotted out that there wasn't anything towards B, so just a solid play from Qualifier, and just pistols for Epsilon. He goes in towards mid, but Epsilon are just hanging back to start things off. There's no real need for Qualifier to play aggressive. They will just play back towards the site. We'll get to see if Epsilon can get anything done with the pistols.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen them take this a little bit faster perhaps, but they have grouped up at least. They've just taken control over towards A. We see, I believe that Chak just going to be left lurking towards B to maybe try and get something done on the flank if his teammates are successful towards the A bomb site. But right now the chances are looking quite slim, as 3 players are going to be awaiting. Boomich even takes an aggressive stance and takes down Robin, and he's allowed to fall back off for free. No one was close enough for Epsilon to actually try and get that trade. They had just begun to rotate back over towards B, I guess having a bit of raid on the position to the CT side, but not correctly enough, as it is going to be all the kills so far in favour of Qualifier. Waterfalls spots out Chak, going to be able to also see the other player who jumped into that corner, and Smooya, he's going to get burned alive. And it's all on Surreal now. 1 on 5. He's had a good game so far, but this is definitely too much to ask when he doesn't even have a weapon available other than that Deagle. And he will be finished off by Quick.
Yeah, very clean round for Qualifier. Exceptional stuff. They managed to not take a single point of damage. I know it was only up against the pistols, but still impressive. And here we go. Smooya has that AWP. Will he stay aggressive even without the Kevlar? That is the question on our minds. He wasn't, to be fair, massively aggressive on the CT side. It was mainly just him peeking towards mid early. You can see Smooya will decide to take things a little bit slower, holding the angle, but Jimka is going for the aggression himself. Ooh, that shot connects, but Robin just about survives. He will be counting his lucky stars that he survived on 11 HP. Does manage to fall back, but it's still damage against Epsilon to start the round.
Yeah, good start by Qualifier once again. They are just happy enough of falling back off. One problem is that they have actually left Boomich alone in towards danger. That could get a little bit scary, as he doesn't really have any support, and there's a lot of players for Epsilon right now grouped up in this position. 4 directly on long, or rather 3 directly on long, and also 1 holding for that mid aggression. So even when he hears these footsteps, if he tries to push out through the door, there is a Cosmian, I believe, that is just going to be waiting for him. But right now, he is going to be getting sandwiched in on, pushed up close towards middle. Boomich, let's see if he's going to be able to get the timing correct here. He has multiple positions to try and watch, and Cosmian, great headshot there to open this one up. Almost got caught off guard with the flash out, but it doesn't matter. He hits that quick flick. Puts the man advantage now in favour of Epsilon, and Smooya holding for the aggression, maybe able to find more, but Velina comes in successfully and takes down that rotator. But as mentioned before, Smooya was in a great position to try and open up this A bomb site, and he should be able to do so, as now Qualifier with a one-man disadvantage. They're trying to just get in before the bomb even gets towards the site, and they may be successful as at least one kill is found by Velina, but it doesn't seem to be enough, as it's all onto Waterfalls now in a 1-on-3, and he will be found just as the smoke begins to dissipate.
And again, I think it's probably worth pointing out that it seems like Qualifier were going with Jimka having the AWP rather than Waterfalls, who's generally the primary AWPer. However, now that will be changed. Waterfalls picks up the AWP alongside Jimka. And, well, considering Epsilon just won the round, they are still forced down to 1 UMP. Not a massive deal. Zach will be, I'm sure, okay with that weapon in hand. And here we go. 2 AWPs for Qualifier. Potentially the chance for an opening kill as Waterfalls goes for the peak. The smoke was up, so no chances there. In the meantime, Epsilon have a couple of players out towards A. They might look to gain ground early on. Boomich is currently in that boost spot towards A. You only see this position almost sort of once a half in general. He's boosted up in that position near A long, where you're out in the open. But it is worth that risk. Sometimes that off angle can work out. And again, a very similar position for both AWPers in this round as the same as the previous one, where Smooya won this fight last time. Let's see if it works for him again. Smooya goes for the peak, lands the shot, but not quite the kill. In the meantime, Velina elsewhere will get that opening towards drop. Again, it's T-Sac picked off in that position. Sorry, Sac picked off in that position. And still 50 seconds left for Epsilon.
Yeah, they found that early damage, but so far Jack over towards drop hasn't really had any success going for this lurk. Qualifier playing it very smart. They've just been setting up for the retakes, using those flashes to reclaim it once the player is he's kind of feeling a little bit more secure once he's got that control and isn't expecting that peak to come in, and it's worked so far. But then again, Waterfalls right now just posted up on this position with the up could get dangerous for Epsilon as they look to try and make their way up B long, but Robin, he takes down Velina in the drop room, and Waterfalls even takes some damage in the process. So both of these, rather 2 of these players now, both of the uppers down to extremely low HP. Waterfalls though still connects the shot, gets one, posts back up towards the drop room, and Robin, he gets to make a move. It could be the correct decision as he is able to find the flanker, jumps and falls. Boomich eventually returns it, so a 2-on-2 now with both of these players for Epsilon just being so low, and Robin, they know his position, he gets one. Boomich now, without the defuse kit, is just going to tap the bomb, and it baits Robin into the open. Perfect play, as it is going to be Qualifier picking themselves up a 9th round, and also being able to reset the economy of Epsilon. I think they may be able to scrape a bye together, but it's not going to be great.
Yeah, this could be a very, very intense first map now. Remember, this was Epsilon's map pick. They had a huge lead in the first half. They were 11-4 up. And yet, as soon as they lost the pistol round, it's started to go against them. And, oh, wow, they've gone for the force buy. This is not something I expected. They still have a 3-round lead, remember. So I don't think this was really that necessary. They only get the 3 rifles, with Cosmine having a Galil. And here we go, the boost's going to come up in towards drop. Waterfalls has the AWP in play. I don't think he's going to get the chance for the opening pick, though, because Epsilon are going to spread out across the map. I think this may just be a reaction because their slow rounds haven't been working. They're going to try and go for a faster paced play out towards A. Let's see how it works for them.
Yeah, already going to be a rotate coming in by Qualifier though. Cosmin will at least trade that one out, and actually Robin in a good position to take down Jumpka will be able to do so. Only problem is these players on the Epsilon side have taken a lot of damage in the process, but if you're able to keep finding headshots like Robin is, it may still go in their favour. Nice trade to come in once again by the CT side, but Cosmin with the spray down doesn't quite commit to it in the end. He does have to reset it, and he's able to find that kill onto Quick. And you question the force buy? I questioned the force buy as well in my head. I didn't get to say it, but it ends up working out in the end, so what can you say?
Well, I guess this is the upside to winning the force buy. If you do win it, you put Qualifier down into an awful position. 2 UMPs, 3 pistols, and, well, Qualifier have their backs against the wall. They're going to have to dodge away from a few more punches as well, because Epsilon have a much better buy for this round. And by the looks of things, Epsilon might just go for a fast-paced play again. It worked in the last round for them, so they're just going to go for it out towards B plat. Fair few players ready to push forwards, but Waterfalls is up close. Fick also here with the UMP, going to play a close range position. The push comes straight through the smoke. Sack is going to get that first entry. They just flash through and it works quite well for them. Trades go the way of Epsilon. And that is all they needed. They have the site, they have another kill, and Epsilon are going to get their 14th.
Yeah, good round by Epsilon. Only up against the Force Buy, of course. That's going to, once again, break the economy of Qualifier. They invested into this one, so in the upcoming, it likely will be an eco, and that means they're likely going to be conceding map point, unless they want to go for the Force Buy once again and try and return what Epsilon were able to do in the previous round. But it's going to be difficult. But yeah, while we have the moment, while we do see just one player alive for the CT side, that is Jumpkin, maybe able to get a couple of extra frags here, so we'll keep a bit of focus on it. But as you can see, Epsilon not wanting to lose any more weapons, they will begin to fall off. So while we have a moment of time, I just want to go ahead and tell everyone that there is currently being a giveaway done for subscribers of this channel. There will be a Flip Knife Blue Steel field tested that will be given away on Sunday after the grand finals of the Farmskins Championship number 2. So if you want to go ahead and get yourself a chance to get that drop, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You can subscribe with any of the tiers. And of course, they also do help support for future content being brought to you guys.
And also quickly, just a thanks for so many people tuning in. Like, we've got 9,000 viewers right now, which I think is the highest at any point of these group stages. So massive shout out to you guys. And let's see if Qualifier can keep themselves in with a chance here, because they only have the one AK in play. Jimka is going to have to be the hero unless the pistols can get the job done. Cosmin is currently out towards B plat. He could be in trouble if the pistols push towards him. He's going to have to be a little careful that he doesn't lose that AK, because his teammates are elsewhere. Looks like the bomb should go out towards A though, and with the stack being towards B, that's going to work quite well. The AK, however, is dropped, so Cosmin will give that one up. And Jimka might be able to rotate in time here.
Yeah, he may actually be able to get into a decent position. He jumps out towards the van. It seems like they are aware of this, Robin. He shuts them down. It's costly in terms of the HP, but he's able to win out the important fight. That means only Boomich and Valina are going to remain now. Boomich likely going to try and save that AK, I would say, because without a defuse kit, without Kevlar on either of his players, the 2 versus 4 retake on the A-bomb site is almost completely unlikely. So he is just going to indeed try and carry this over, at least have a decent buy now in the following round, because even though they will have enough to buy the rifles no matter what, saving over that AK means that he can get that extra utility to work with, which on Cobblestone, that's quite important. The smokes especially to hold off those choke points, the flashes to help with the retakes, and yeah, it's just going to be needed.
Yeah, so here is the 15th round on the board for Epsilon, just one away from closing out this first map. Looks like Volina is looking to see if he can find a gun. I don't think he's going to get one. He might even die to the bomb here. No, Volina will be alive. I'm not sure there's a rifle for him to recover, though. So just going to be Boomich saving the one AK. However, it will still, of course, have to be a force buy. It's now or never for Qualifier in this first map. Remember, this is Epsilon's map pick, so certainly still every chance for them heading into Train, especially as we haven't seen Epsilon play Train with this lineup yet. But let's see how it goes. Round 25, full buy for both teams, and Qualifier. Again, every round is must win for them at this point, and Jimka will get that first kill. Smooya tried to go aggressive, and Surreal was attempting to back him up. But that's a 2-man advantage for Qualifier early on. That's exactly what they would have wanted.
Yeah, great start. Jumpkid just holding such a tight angle, they're able to take down Smooya. That could have been dangerous up against the op, but it does end up working in his favour. The spray was just on point, and now it's going to be up to Valina rather to try and ensure that they keep this advantage. But he does fall. Luckily enough, it will still be a 4-on-3, and damage has been done to Cosmin. But that gives a bit of a... that gives the option for some map control, I guess, for Epsilon. They could, if they wanted to put one player down into the drop room, it's likely that they won't have another player in this position, so it would allow them then to try and split towards the bomb sites. But it looks like instead they are just going to try and regroup, try and take over the A-bomb site instead together, where there is going to be currently Jumka with that up, along with Boomich, and they've had a good game so far, but both of these, Jumka hasn't really showed up as much as we would have expected, but now is the time for him to do so. He's in a good position, he's up on balcony, and it's actually Boomich to get the opening, and Jumka instantly returns one onto Cosmin also, as it's just going to be Chak now that remains, and he's left over on the ramp, and I think this is almost impossible to bomb down behind wood. Going to be extremely difficult to try and retrieve, especially with 3 players now set up to just hold this one down. And as you can see, Boomich, he will find that final kill, and Qualifier getting themselves up to double digits. 5 more rounds in a row will still be needed for overtime. Epsilon still able to buy into this one, so there is still a long road ahead, but they keep themselves alive, at least for the moment.
Yeah, and again, it's Jimka finding quite a lot of success on towards that AWP, but I'm still somewhat surprised that Waterfalls isn't picking it up at any point, really, only when they're going for the 2 AWPs on their side. I think it's because they want Jimka playing towards A with the AWP in hand, and he gets mollied out early on. That's a lot of damage done to Jimka, down to 42 HP at the start of the round. As you were saying, it's still the buy for Epsilon, although they don't have too many nades left. They've used a couple of them early, and they didn't have a full arsenal to start with. So not exactly great for them if they want to go for an execute. But with how Epsilon have been playing so far, I wouldn't be surprised to just see Smooya try and see if he can get an opening pick and then just work off of that. And for the time being, he is currently with his teammates out towards A long. Either way, no real moves being made just yet. The smoke comes in, but there is a little gap here. Smooya's trying to exploit it, but you can see QB5 playing fairly far back, so nothing going to be happening just yet, except for Epsilon just lining up around this A site.
Yeah, it looks like this will eventually be the destination they try and go towards, but there's still a bit of time left. They're hoping maybe some mistakes will be made. Smooya just hoping to be able to find a pick with this op, and if he peeks out further, he could be in a pretty awkward position. We see Jumpka going to be playing up on top of the bomb site. We see he's covered currently by Valina, so they have the op even watching down towards water, and that's currently where the bomb's going to be going. There you go, Jumpka opens it up, able to find the opening kill. Smooya, just as he peeks out, Valina does fall back off that angle that he had a perfect position from. But now the trades do come in. Robin, he's been stepping it up so far on the T side, and Smooya, if he finds this kill on the site, it will be crucial and it will allow them to take control. He will get one. Up on the balcony now also, he spotted another, but quick. He's somehow able to escape at least for a couple of seconds before Cosmian is going to finish him off, and now it's going to be all on the waterfalls on the flank, and it's just not going to work out. Cosmian shuts that one down, and Epsilon are going to be victorious in the first map of this series.